Dushasana's once boastful posture crumpled as his body shook uncontrollably. Every muscle rebelled against him, and he could scarcely keep himself upright. The sweat pouring from his brow and the tremor in his limbs betrayed the divine energies that had swelled to defend Draupadi's honor. His chest heaved with ragged breaths. His vision flickered, and finally, with a thud that echoed through the silent hall, he collapsed to the marble floor. The courtiers recoiled in stunned shock, some in horror, others in awe, witnessing the direct consequence of their cruelty. In that charged silence, Bhima's fury exploded like a thunderclap. His massive form seemed to expand, as though the earth itself had lent him its strength. Veins bulged on his neck, and his eyes blazed with unstoppable wrath. "Dushasana!" he bellowed, his voice drowning any attempt at resistance. "I swear by the gods that I will rend your chest open and drink your blood. And you, Duryodhana, I will shatter your thighs and reduce your proud body to dust." Each word carried the weight of raw, unbridled anger, an oath that quivered through the very air of the Sabha. Arjuna rose, every sinew of his lean warrior's body taut like a drawn bow. In his hand, the Gandava glimmered, a beacon of divine justice. His gaze swept the assembly of kings, and with measured calm he addressed them. Kings who sat silent as this injustice was done, you have blood on your hands. I vow by my honor as a warrior to slay every coward who stood by instead of protecting Draupadi. Your lives are forfeit to the path of righteousness. Though his voice was steady, a lethal intensity reverberated in every syllable, like the final resonant note of a war drum. Draupadi, her garments still in disarray, ascended to the center of the hall. Her once neat hair was now unbound, falling in dark waves around her shoulders. Her eyes flickered with a divine fire, Mahakali's wrath incarnate. Raising her chin, she proclaimed, "I shall not tie my hair until I bathe it in Dushasana's blood. Let every celestial being bear witness to this vow." Her voice was transformed, no longer the gentle queen but a force of cosmic retribution. As her words echoed, an uncanny hush swept over everyone present, as if nature itself had momentarily paused to absorb her intensity. Almost immediately, the sky darkened, as if reluctant to remain overhead. Clouds swirled into tumultuous patterns, and thunder rumbled through the vaulted ceiling. The palace torches flickered wildly, as though a sudden gust had passed through. A stiff wind rose, rippling banners and tossing temple flags into frenzied motion. Every living creature, birds, insects, even animals chained in distant stables, seemed to sense the cosmic gravity of Draupadi's vow. It was as though the entire cosmos bowed to the solemnity of her words. Behind the throne, Dhritarashtra felt his knees buckle under a weight he could not explain. Though blind, his ears were keen enough to catch every vow and every threat. The realization that his brothers had brought doom upon the house of Kuru settled like lead in his heart. He clutched Vidora's arm, white with fear, and whispered hoarsely, "What calamity have we invoked? What hands of fate did we commit to?" While he spoke softly, his voice tremored with a dread that spread through the heart of the kingdom. Draupadi's lament morphed into a hymn of wrath. Her posture straightened until she seemed to tower above everyone. Her dark hair blew behind her like a banner of night, and her eyes burned with otherworldly light. She began to chant a curse upon the entire Kuru lineage, the Guruvansha, calling upon the gods to witness and enforce her vow. The ground beneath her feet seemed to tremble, and a faint glow enveloped her figure, making her look less like a mortal woman and more like the fierce goddess Mahakali come to life. Dhritarashtra, his voice scarcely more than a whisper, yet trembling with urgency, staggered forward. "Draupadi," he implored, "I beg you, spare the house of Kuru. Ask for a boon instead of a curse. I will grant whatever you desire." His expression was torn between paternal love and the crushing recognition that his own sons had unleashed a catastrophic chain of events. Draupadi paused her curse, and her fiery aura softened as she turned her gaze upon the blind king. With measured composure, she declared, "My husbands shall be freed. Their weapons must be returned to them. Indraprastha, their rightful kingdom, must be restored to their rule, nothing more, nothing less." There was no malice in her tone now, only the steely determination of a queen demanding justice. Even the gods, it seemed, leaned closer to hear her. Moved by her dignity and fearful of divine retribution, Dhritarashtra commanded, "So be it. Let the Pandavas be released. Return to them their weapons and their kingdom of Indraprastha." His voice rang across the hall, final and irrevocable. At his words, guards hurried forward with heavy chains, clattering as they fell from the Pandavas' wrists. A collective gasp rose from the gathering as the rightful heirs of Indraprastha were once again free. Duryodhana sprang to his feet outraged, his voice sliced through the brief calm. "I will not accept this. They are my slaves now, and Indraprastha belongs to me." His face contorted with fury, veins throbbing at his temples. He pounded a fist upon a marble column, making it quiver. The court trembled at his defiance, but his words carried empty bravado, for the throne had already spoken. Having secured her demand, Draupadi turned on her heel and walked out of the sabha. Each step she took was measured, as though she carried the weight of the world's justice on her shoulders. Her unbound hair whipped behind her, and her expression was one of unwavering resolve. In that moment, she showed no tear or trace of sorrow, only the painful clarity of a vow that would not be broken until vengeance was fulfilled. Dhritarashtra's voice thundered one final time, his will overriding even his paternal weakness. "Silence, Duryodhana. If you defy this decree, you shall answer not only to me, but to the wrath of destiny itself. Obey or be prepared to face your end." Even in his advanced age and blindness, the blind king's words carried the authority of tradition, duty, and cosmic consequence. The sheer force of his admonishment brought Duryodhana to a momentary halt. Shakuni, his ancient eyes gleaming with cunning, leaned close to Duryodhana's ear. "If your pride demands justice," he hissed, "then let us gamble once more. A single game, everything at stake. If they win, they reclaim their kingdom forever. If they lose, 12 years in the forest, followed by 1 year of anonymity. Should their true identities be discovered, the cycle repeats." His words dripped poison, promising a game even crueler than the last. Duryodhana's face twisted with vengeful anticipation. Though Vidura protested in hushed tones, Dhritarashtra's sense of dharma and the binding power of oaths forced his hand. "Have it your way," he declared. "Let the final game be arranged at once. Let destiny's dice decide our fate." At this pronouncement, the atmosphere in the Sabha turned even more somber, as if the very stones beneath them feared what was to come.